All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do this. It is Real Talk Tuesday. Let me clear this screen right here. Boom, 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 boom. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk Tuesday. Let me get this music out of there. Get that music out of there. All right, again, welcome to Real Talk Tuesday. I am Jamal. I am your host, and I am glad that you are here today. Got a lot I want to talk about. Hope everybody, made it through the winter storm, with minimum damage. Hope everybody basically made it through safely. Minimum damage to your property. I know we've been out of work for a couple of days, or some people have been out of work for a couple of days. I actually worked during the snowstorm and afterwards, but that's another story. But again, I got a lot I want to talk about tonight. If you would, thank you for being here again. Please hit the like button so that we can bring more people in here. Got some really good topics that I want to touch on tonight. We're going to talk about Don Lemon a little bit and his whole episode with being arrested, and this whole talk about free speech, and everybody's got their opinion on it, and of course I have mine, and I'll share it with you here later. And I encourage you to get in the chat in the comment section that I'm going to post on screen, and all I ask you to do is just be nice, be respectful. Please don't be disrespectful. Don't start cursing. If you're not interested in what we're talking or what we're going to talk about here, then just go ahead and find you some other podcast to watch. You know what I mean? There's millions of them, hundreds of thousands at least. All right. So again, welcome in, and please hit that like button. We're also going to talk about there's been some drastic changes to the SNAP benefits, and we're going to talk about what you need to know and how it could possibly affect you if you are one of the people in this. We'll also talk about Representative Roger Kirby. He chose to sit out on a vote that I'm sorry, when it comes to legislation protecting children, there's no middle ground with me. There's no middle ground. There's no reason why you should not have voted on what you voted on. What we're talking about is what I'm going to be talking about, is the bathroom bill. But we'll get into that a little later. And then we'll be talking about Sheriff Carter Weaver and his comments in regards to the new municipality that is in the process of being formed in Georgetown County. For those of you who don't know, Sheriff Carter Weaver said that he is not for sale. Again, we'll do a little deep dive into all of these different topics here, and a couple more topics too. But check this. I ain't gonna steal it. Check this. When are you gonna do that? But what we are gonna do is take a moment to kick it up to one of our sponsors before we get into these.
In times of trouble, you need someone who knows the law, knows the community, and knows how to fight for you. The law offices of Caesar McKnight, right here in Kingstree, South Carolina, is committed to protecting your rights and protecting your future. From criminal defense, personal injury, to family law. When the stakes are high, experience matters, and so does someone who listens. Call today and get a competent, passionate, and effective legal team on your side. Because when life hits hard, you don't have to go through it alone. The law offices of Caesar McKnight, justice for real people, serving the Kingstree and surrounding South Carolina communities. Call now or visit the website today, or stop by for a free consultation. In times of trouble, you need someone who knows the law, knows the community, and knows how to fight for you. The law offices of Caesar McKnight, right here in Kingstree, South Carolina, is committed to protect.
All right, my bad. I had that on loop, but you get the point right there. Go check out the law offices of Caesar McKnight. That's who we use over here at Andrews the Podcast, by the way. But let's get into this right here. Let's start off with right here. Let's start at home, okay? And let's talk about this situation right here where Sheriff Carter Weaver says he is not for sale, okay? And this was I guess his response to the Georgetown Waccamaw Neck community. Again, that's trying to form the new municipality over there. And there's a question about policing. And Sheriff Carter Weaver is quoted in the paper as saying that he's not for sale. And what I would say to Sheriff Carter Weaver is, of course you're not for sale. You're an elected official. What do you mean you're not for sale? That's kind of high page. That's kind of I'm not understanding why he would say he's not for sale. Okay, and what is the big issue with him patrolling this area that he already patrols already, because this place is in Georgetown County? Again, these folks are not annexing another part of Georgetown County to bring in. This is an existing part of Georgetown County. What you all know is the Waccamaw Neck. You know, my position is he's an elected official and he's paid by the taxpayers to do a job. A public office is not a favor. And again, he was elected to cover Georgetown County. Somebody make me understand. Somebody explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old as to why this is an issue and why these people cannot proceed with what they're doing to protect their interests in that part of the county. I mean, independence is not optional. It's the minimum requirement. Like, I don't understand. If the sheriff feels that he needs to say he's not for sale, who exactly is he talking to? You don't get credit for not being corrupt. You get judged on whether you did the job. So not clear on, you know, how that works out, but I'll remind the people of the Waccamaw Neck that Andrews doesn't pay for extra police for him policing the thing. It was my understanding that there was some type of, you know, in my opinion, shady deal that was in place where Andrews used to pay like some extra money. You got to understand, there's a budget that the sheriff works out of, right? And so he was getting money outside of this budget that he's working out of. Well, Chief Cockrell put an end to that in Andrews. So maybe the people at Waccamaw Neck need to take a trip down to Andrews, South Carolina, and holler at Chief Cockrell and find out what it is that he knew or that he knows where the sheriff does the job that he's elected to do. And they do a good job in Andrews. They overdo their job in Andrews, as a matter of fact. Okay. So I don't have a problem with them. You know, continue cracking down on the drug dealers. You know, we got a drug problem in Andrews in certain areas, not as bad as it used to be, but we all know where it is. Okay. So, but yeah, y'all should come down and talk to and speak with the chief of Andrews and figure out what it is he has. How did he pull that off? That's just, you know, me, just common sense. You know what I mean? He's operating in the county. Obviously, he had some kind of, find out what he told the sheriff to convince him to give us this great service at no extra cost. Okay. So there was no issue of he wasn't for sale. No, he wasn't for sale. He's just, you know, It's not asking too much. Just do the job that you were elected to do. You know what I mean? Now, 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 I want to point this out, right? And please, I need the fact checkers to go behind me and check this, right? Because here's what I don't understand, right? Is that Sheriff Carter Weaver received essentially no votes from Andrews. None. That's not where he goes to get his that's definitely not this guy, whoever that other guy was that ran for sheriff that nobody knew, actually got the votes because he was just on the other side. He just happened to be a Democrat, and people were not voting for Sheriff Carter Weaver. So put that in your pipe. I mean, he's over here overprotecting a population that doesn't even support him. So I don't know, make it make sense. I'm just the podcaster. And again, you see on the bottom of the screen, if you would like to support the podcast, there's a lot of different ways you can do that, but there's one on the bottom of the screen. But we're going to get into some more stuff here right after this, right here. Join us for an unforgettable evening of elegance, purpose, and community at the 5th annual Keep the Beat Gala. This signature event brings together supporters, leaders, and change makers for a night of music, culture, and meaningful impact. Hosted by the NOLA Network, this gala supports a mission rooted in one simple belief: that every individual deserves access to the resources they need to live their healthiest lives. When you attend, you're not just attending an upscale masquerade experience. You're standing with fine organizations committed to health, equity, and community well-being. So join us on Saturday, February 28th from 7 to 10 p.m. at 698 West South 4th Street in Seneca, South Carolina. Tickets are available now, including early bird specials, VIP, and also couple options. Visit thenolanetwork.org to purchase tickets and to learn how you or your organization can become a donor and a supporter of this incredible organization. Remember, dress to impress, wear your mask, and help us keep the beat for health, for community, and for change. Thank you. Absolutely. And we're back. So check it. Again, thank you guys for hitting that like button. You are killing it tonight, man. I mean, killing it, right? And so what we're going to talk about now is my man Don Lemon right here. Don Lemon. For those who don't know, just a little backstory. He was arrested recently in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Not sure if it was Minneapolis, but in the state of Minnesota. He was arrested for violating the FACE Act and also this KKK law that banned banned the KKK from interrupting church services and just walking in places, and but the FACE Act came about because of abortion clinics. But in that legislation, on the back end of it, it was churches were added to it to basically get it to go through. And there's a lot. I'm gonna be covering this story heavy because as expected, a lot of folks who have no context as to what the story is about. Don Lemon went into a church with a group of protesters, right? Don Lemon's contention is that, and what I hear a lot of stupid people saying is, he's freedom of the press, freedom of he has the freedom of the press. He's a reporter, right? And he's protected by the First Amendment. Well, what most of those people fail to realize is the First Amendment does not give you the right to violate the First Amendment of somebody else. See, that's the problem. That's what's at odds here. Don Lemon contends that he was just covering a situation. The problem is that he recorded the whole thing, right? And most of the people who sitting here saying, "Hey, I stand with Don Lemon," these people will agree with anything as long as the other side is looking the other way, oppositely. And it's the same way on the right and the left. Both are idiots. You got right wing extremists, and then you got left wing nuts too, right? These are people who everything goes through the lens of their party. So we're gonna base whether this is right or wrong on the lens of the party. I'll say this right now: I don't care who you are. It's wrong to go in somebody's church, and the First Amendment protects that. But with that being said, let me talk a little bit more about what Don Lemon has done. Don Lemon was arrested again following his involvement in a protest inside a church. Video shows some key elements to why he was arrested. The video shows planning and participation, not just reporting. Okay. And there was one point in there where he told the pastor, "Hey, don't push me." Obviously, the man was not pushing him. I would have punched him in the face at that point. But that's just me and my uncivilized way of handling things like that. First Amendment protects reporting, not disruption. It protects reporting, not disruption. And a lot of people are under the impression that the First Amendment protects, because if you work for CNN or you work at the first that at the time when the law was written, there was no press. They was talking about the print press and anybody who had access to it. So this law is written to protect the common person's right to speak, but it does not give you the right to violate. Okay, I may disagree with a lot of these crooked ass preachers, but that doesn't give me the right to go inside their church. Now I can stand out in the public and interview people as they come out of the church. That's a whole nother thing. But once I decide, and I pre-plan to, again, most people have not, and I'll say this again, have not watched what actually happened. Okay. But let's keep talking. The First Amendment protects reporting and not disruption. You don't get to help organize an event, which is what Don Lemon did, and then retreat behind press credentials. Right? And I mean, literally threw them people under the bus. And if you saw him on Jimmy Kimmel last night, you understand what I've been saying, what I said in the post, that this is about Don Lemon. This is not about the damn Somalis or however this post, because what sparked ICE off in Minnesota was Nick Shirley? But his report on the Somali fraud with the daycares, right? So, people, again, you can feel how you want to feel about whatever, but Don Lemon also said that the reason why, and this is him pictured here with his husband, Don Lemon has been on record saying that white men are the most dangerous men in America. Again, here's him here pictured with his husband. He also said that he's being targeted because he's a gay black male. If you saw him on Jimmy Kimmel last night, you really understand what this is all about. This is not about the protest. This is about Don Lemon having that moment. And he thinks he has that moment. Okay. And hopefully, if the justice system, which I doubt it, but if the justice system is to have any credibility, Don Lemon should be in jail, and he should do a long time. Which is crazy, is that somebody that purports to be a champion of black people, how could you be so ignorant to violate a law that was literally put in place to protect black people? And again, we're slowly forgetting about the rest of the protesters, which I think this is by design. Who you talking about the lawyer who organized this protest, and they went into church, and then and so fast they started to backpedal. But Don Lemon was looking for that moment, and on Jimmy Kimmel, he was talking about when his husband came and got him out of jail, and he asked his husband about his channel, and his husband was like, "Yo, your numbers are going up," and that's what it was about. That's what it's about. You know what I mean? This is just what it's about. It wasn't about no damn Somalians or whoever the hell they protesting for. But it's just, having that moment and, trying to be the ultimate victim. And that's what that guy accomplished there, man. So again, obviously the like button does not work tonight, but guess what? I'm going to keep pushing through because I'm a champion. All right. And again, I need you guys to check out this.
They say freedom isn't free. And tonight, as we look upon this simple table and remember the ones who paid the price but never came home, this is the missing man table. Each piece tells a story. The small table, for one, symbolizes the isolation of our prisoners of war. The white cloth represents the purity of their service, their willingness to answer the call. The single red rose reminds us of families who still wait year after year, hoping for word of their loved ones' return. The lemon is bitter, just like their fate. The salt, the tears of those left behind. The glass is inverted. The chair left empty because they are not here. But their spirit remains. Their sacrifice endures. Here in Andrews, South Carolina, we're doing something powerful, something historic. We're building a POW MIA monument, one of only a few in the entire state of South Carolina, to honor those who were taken and those who never returned. A place where generations can come to learn, reflect, and remember. A place where their stories live on. But we can't do it alone. We need your help, your donations, your support, your voice to bring this monument to life. Every dollar brings us one step closer to honoring our heroes right here at home. So join us, be a part of history. Donate to the POW Monument of Andrews, South Carolina. For those still missing, for those who never came home, for those we will never forget.
All right, so now we're going to shift gears a little bit. We're going to talk about a bill that was just voted on the floor of the House. Let me grab some notes from someplace else because I don't have any right here. But who you're looking at right here is Representative Roger Kirby. And he had an opportunity to basically put his name on some legislation to protect children. And he chose not to. And a lot of people can say, well, maybe he had some other things to do. He couldn't make it. Yeah, that's true. I'll grant him that. But there's also ways that you could still get on the record where your position is on this. Again, this is something protecting children. Give me a second. Right. So yeah, Roger Kirby there. He we're talking about HB Bill H4756, the South Carolina bathroom bill, Parents' Choice, and ivermectin. This is something that in the past, this used to get overlooked on a local level, but we here now, and we understand. So let me check my email. I sent myself something. Let's see if I understand how that works. Let's get it. Where are we? Go to the good old handy dandy Gmail. Oh, there it is. How you say that? Whoop. There it is. All right. So I want to be able to share this with you guys. All right. Let's get here. I wish I had some help with this, but here we go. Nonetheless. All right. The summary. All right. Let me get this up where you guys can see what I'm reading from here. Move it, Roger. Here we go. Let's share the screen here. Let's bring up the bill tracking. There we go. And now, well, you guys should be able to see it now. All right. So what we're looking at is the summary of where are we at? Regarding, all right. The South Carolina Student Physical Privacy Act aimed to establish regulations regarding the use of restrooms and changing facilities in public schools and institutions of higher learning, ensuring that these facilities are designated for use only by individuals of the same biological sex. This bill defines key terms such as changing facilities, restrooms, and sex, and mandates that public school districts and institutions of higher learning must not use funds to maintain or operate facilities that do not comply with these regulations. Violations will result in a penalty of 25% of the funds appropriated for the institution's operation. Additionally, the bill provides individuals with a private cause of action for declaratory and injunctive relief if they encounter a person of the opposite sex in a designated facility or are required to share sleeping quarters with someone of the opposite sex. It also allows for the establishment to separate private areas based on sex in settings where individuals may be undressed. However, the act does not prevent accommodations for disabled persons or young children needing assistance. The provision of this act will take effect upon the governor's approval. Okay. And what we're talking about here again is House Bill 4756 that Roger Kirby kind of stayed away from. And I don't want to take up too much time, but I will show you guys here where I'm going to show you an example of, okay, this person didn't vote, but they came back and basically made it known, like I was saying, that, hey, nah, I ain't with that, didn't I? Let's be clear. Let's find out where my guy at. Where is he? And right here, you're looking at all the sponsors of this bill. These are all the primary sponsors. You're talking, let's See if anybody we recognize here. Anybody we recognize just off last name recognition for me. I don't see nobody yet. I mean, this is, to me, it's common sense legislation right here. Why wouldn't you want your name a part of this? What's really going on? Like, the chroma. All right, but yeah, that's what we're talking about right now. Is House Bill 450, a bill to amend the South Carolina laws by enacting the South Carolina Student Physical Privacy Act. So this bill passed the House, but with no help from this young man. So anyway, let's keep it moving right along and get into our last segment here.
Most people know the building. Most people say the name, but very few people know the story behind it. Ralph H. Johnson Veteran Affairs Medical Center in Charleston, South Carolina, isn't named after a politician. It's not named after a donor. It's named after a young Marine who made the ultimate sacrifice. Ralph Henry Johnson was just 19 years old, a United States Marine, a Vietnam War veteran, a kid from South Carolina who answered the call. In June of 1968, during combat in Vietnam, Johnson's unit came under attack. Grenades began raining down. Ralph Johnson didn't hesitate. He didn't look for cover. He didn't think about himself. He threw himself on the grenade. He gave his life so others could live. For that act of courage, Ralph H. Johnson was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor, the highest military decoration in the United States. So every time a veteran walks through those doors, every time a family finds care, every time a life is saved inside that hospital, they're walking into a place of true valor. Not a name on a wall, not just a sign on a building, but a story, a sacrifice, a reminder of what service really means. So the next time you hear the name Ralph H. Johnson, ask yourself, did you know his story?
This May, Kingstree, South Carolina becomes a place of remembrance and reflection. Join us for a powerful two-day commemoration marking the 60th anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s 1966 call to march on ballot boxes. Together, we honor the past, examine the promise, and shape the future. Friday, May 8th and Saturday, May 9th, 2026. For more information, contact C. Williams Rush at 803-397-1859.
See, there's a difference between reporting the news and trying to make the news. And right now, it looks like Gab News forgot which side of the line they're supposed to be on. Because what they're doing, pushing out half-baked stories, parroting party talking lines, and helping the local GOP run smear campaigns is not journalism. That's political interference dressed up as news. Let's be clear here. The Georgetown County Republican Party has actually built a whole website dedicated to attacking one candidate, Jesse Walker. Not a debate, not a. I just wanted to put a little reminder up there so we don't get too far off track, if you know what I'm saying, as we move along. Because how soon we forget. How soon we forget. All right, don't need you anymore, Roger. So now let's talk about the SNAP thing right here. SNAP benefits. The big, beautiful bill is taking effect. And there have been what some describe as draconian changes. to the SNAP program. South Carolina EBT, Think Healthy, Eat Healthy program. So what we're going to do now is just talk a little bit about some of the things that you guys maybe, you might want to look out for. You know what I mean? If you got family members who are affected by this, friends or family members, or if you yourself are affected by this, the best thing is to get the truth about what it is, right? About what exactly is going on. This is not something that you should be got to be calm and understand what is going on. So let me get this up here for you guys. Viewing pleasure. Right there, paste that. Thank you. We're gonna take the timer off of that, and then we're gonna add it. All right, SNAP benefits. Reality check for South Carolina. Is it really? What does it mean? What are they talking about? The big beautiful bill. What is that damn Trump up to now? Okay, well, SNAP rules have tightened, and what it says is able-bodied adults from the ages of 18 to 64. That's right, I said 64. You either have to work, train, or volunteer for 80 hours per month in order to receive these benefits. If you don't do this, benefits are limited to 3 months or 36-month per period. Excuse me, or a 36-month period, in a 36-month period. So if you don't maintain this, you can lose that, and you'll lose your benefits for 3 months in a 36-month period. I guess I'm not clear on that. Give me a second. Let me work through that a little bit more. Exemptions have been narrowed as to what an able-bodied person is. This is not about shaming people, obviously, right? This is about information right here. Keeping people informed before their benefits disappear because they don't have the proper information. They're working with some bad information. This policies is supposed to be that it doesn't care about intention, it cares about compliance and what people should do. Document your work or training hours. That's going to be key. And you're going to have to be clear with your caseworker that, what you're presenting to them works. You know what I mean? You don't want to play around with that if that, you don't want to play around with that. And like I just said, stay in contact with your DSS caseworker, and you can imagine that they're going to have a ton of people reaching out to them with questions about this. So you may want to have your shit together whenever you call, so you don't, you can get the answers you need with minimal amount of conversation. Maybe try communicating with them through email. Just keep in mind, it's going to be a busy time for them. Don't wait until your benefits stop to start asking questions. Don't play with that. That's not to play with. And in most cases, I don't think people are going to lose benefits from being lazy. I think they're going to lose benefits from not hearing the truth. And you can let your hate for the current administration and the current political climate make you miss an opportunity to tell somebody what they really need to make it through this quote unquote political climate. You know what I mean? So
kind of sit your anger to the side and methodically lay out what these people should be doing, because this is not something that they need to approach emotionally, because it's not changing. It's not going to change. Not going to change. So, let's put all this together, man. I guess my takeaway for on the SNAP thing is going to be that recipients face consequences without clear communication. If you approach this emotionally, you know what I mean? Okay, we're clear. We heard you. You hate Donald Trump. Good. Now, how do you move past that to get what you need to survive? Roger Kirby avoided a recorded position entirely. I mean, he recorded a time. It's like a historical moment. This is just a battle between good and evil. Come on, man. I mean, that's a layup, bro. Anything protecting children, unless you don't believe that, children should be protected in privacy in the bathroom at the schools. Better be mindful who you vote for, folks. More importantly, you better be mindful of the people who you vote for. What are they voting for or not voting for? Sheriff Carter Weaver has framed basic duty that he was elected to do basically as like heroism, like, I can't be paid, and I'm not, can't be bought. Y'all enjoy did they already have the polar plunge? I think I'm gonna attend this year. I think I'll cover that with my buddy Scotty Daddy, and we like to party. We don't talk to, and they don't have nobody. And Don Lemon, who says that he's being targeted because he's a gay black male in America, and that white men are dangerous. He wants to be protected under the First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of the press. He wants to be protected for violating somebody else's rights. Work that shit out of your mind. You want to be no. My First Amendment means more than their First Amendment. Facts matter, man. Actually, they don't. Shit, obviously, because I think listen. If they ain't locked Jesse Smollett up for what he did, then this boy right here gonna get off too. I think his husband won't allow it. It's not letting Donnie go to the clink. No. But here it is, man. Listen, whether you are a journalist, a public official, or a lawmaker, or a lawmaker, your words don't matter nearly as much as your responsibility to the people that elected you. your words are not as nearly as important as the responsibility of the people affected by your actions. Roger Kirby, I hope none of your family members get put in an awkward situation because you failed to elect. This thing still has to go through the Senate, and we'll see how that works out. But and again, to the people over in the Waccamaw Neck, y'all better come holler at Chief Cockrell and figure out what it is he was able to do to get the coverage that the sheriff was elected to do. He was elected as the sheriff to cover Georgetown County. I get it that there are municipality rules and all this other stuff in place, but if there's no police there at the municipality, shouldn't that fall to the county? I mean, the municipality sits within the county. So again, there's smarter people on these things than me, and hopefully they'll come and help us decipher some of this. So, but with that being said, I appreciate that one like tonight. I don't know what's going on with y'all tonight in that like button, but anyway, we out of here.
In times of trouble, you need someone who knows the law, knows the community, and knows how to fight for you. The law offices of Caesar McKnight, right here in Kingstree, South Carolina, is committed to protecting your rights and protecting your future. From criminal defense, personal injury, to family law. When the stakes are high, experience matters, and so does someone who listens. Call today and get a competent, passionate, and effective legal team on your side. Because when life hits hard, you don't have to go through it alone. The law offices of Caesar McKnight, justice for real people, serving the Kingstree and surrounding South Carolina communities. Call now or visit the website today or stop by for a free consultation.